back to the Greens Park Homes Bridlington Masters, where Lee Lawton leads 13 points to 8.
Lee's actually one of the few players who hasn't stayed over this weekend. He's travelled from his home in Failsworth every day. He even played competition at Cleckheaton last night.
Well, there is evidence, if it were needed, of his prolific nature, attending tournaments, that in the middle of one of the richest prizes in the game, he can nip off and just perform at Cleckheaton.
Correct. He did lose, but...
Well, he's not losing this one at the moment. Leading by 5, 13 to 8, but Michael Leach has started to chip away at that advantage, which was 13-6.
I'm not just going to get there. Michael's just made comments to someone in the crowd about the difference in bias of the ball, so it has got stuck in his brain a little bit.
Well, things like that do when you're trailing, and less so when you're winning, sure.
Correct. He likes this, does Lee? He looks on a good road. Yep.
Well, in boxing, they'd call that throwing in the towel. It wasn't quite that from Michael Leach, but it was an admission that Lee was in, and it was 14-8. There it went. That's the kind of moment that has divided opinion, shall we say, regarding those who watch Michael Leach. You either love it or loathe it.
He's played a reasonable lead, Lee, again.
Did you see anybody clapping, David?
I can only recall one end where he's not really made Michael have to play a good ball to get in.
It's a good night. It's just gone out though. Not much in it.
For him, I think he's falling out lovely.
Likes it. Yeah, looks a good pace. Just needs it to just bend a little bit more. Not sure.
Hard to tell, isn't it?
He likes to, does Lee? This is a big ball.
I think Michael knows it too. Has a concerned look on his face. Urging it on, urging it on.
It's gone tight.
Is that too?
He's claimed to. Usually Michael have a look when he gets up there, but these two are very good judges. Michael just be wondering what he has to do now to get in. He's not playing bad, but Lee's playing better.
Yeah, 16-8 it was too. Lee fancied it. Michael said yeah. It's a big advantage, 8, but in whatever sport you're in, there's a big difference between getting close to the line and getting over it, and that's when it's all about your mental strength, isn't it?
That's right. As I said, Michael won't give this game up just yet. He'll be thinking it's only 4 good ends and he's back in the game. Just still struggling with his pace into that corner.
Lee's after it again.
It's another good ball to me. Just off the road, but a good length. Bit of room for Michael.
There's a chance here. He does have to start taking them, and
On the road was right. It was a poor 2 to give away, really.
8-18 in favour of Lee Lawton. And Michael Leach needs to pull something from the depth of his vast knowledge of this game. In a strange way, the pressure's off him now. It's almost a case of trying something maybe a bit unusual.
But this lot of the time, all you're trying to do is get a reasonable score, make it look good for the internet and the newspapers, and you just hope you can find a mark that you like and your opponent doesn't. And if you score a couple of ends, it builds up the doubt in the other player's mind.
Well, that was another example of the misfortune that has befallen Michael Leach. It was a really good opening bowl from him, and it then flicks away, and Lee is still in. And then Lee follows up as if to rub salt into the wound, and I think he still holds shot. He needs this, Michael, doesn't he?
He does. It looks a reasonable pace. I think it's just enough to get in. He'll be happy with that.
Yeah, he's in. 18-9 now to Lee Lawton.
Still persisting with a round peg mark under the crown. And sent the jack off.
You don't often see that, but he wanted to get as close as possible to the end, but obviously that wasn't what he had in mind, and it'll be Lee's choice as to where the jack ends up.
I think it's fairly certain where he'll be going.
Absolutely. It's a big mistake, really. I mean, even allowing for the tension of a final and the gap between the two, it was just a glimmer of an opportunity for Mike to move to a patch of land that he was more comfortable with.
It never helps any time sending the jack off, really.
No.
And it's just a little bit careless.
Well, by Lee standards, that wasn't one of his finer bowls today. He might get close with this.
Should be very happy with this one. Does give Lee a 2-shot if he plays the right bowl. Any connection on the bowl, take it out, and it'll count 2. Here,
It's not
very
far
close.
off. It's not far off.
Oh, he's found the gap.
Just flicked off Michael Leach's bowl.
He's played the right ball here. Any connection on that red ball takes it out. Unfortunately, he's just got the thinnest answers off it.
It's 18-10. One more for Michael Leach, and I'm absolutely certain that if this crowd were impartial before, they'll now start hoping that Michael Leach can get back into this, so they get a bit longer game to be entertained by.
He's decided to change his game plan totally. Forget the edges, forget the crown. He's taking Lee back the opposite peg in the corner they've just come from. This is something that the old timers used to do back in the day. It was a sign of bravado almost.
It's certainly worth making the point about Michael Leach that there was a stage in his not too distant past where he had a dreadful case of the yips, and he was unable even to release the bowls for something like 2 or 3 years. He took out of the game, didn't he?
That's right. He was right at the very top of the game, and it was in the mid-80s he started struggling actually releasing the bowls, You just get something in your head and you can't let go. He took some time out, remodelled his action. He's come back and he's not the same player as he was. He was a top player, but he's still an excellent player, still competing at the highest level.
The yips can hit anyone in any sport, and anybody who comes back from it and can still play at the highest level deserves a lot of credit, and that credit goes to Michael Leach. Has he got the end? No. Lee Lawton just creeping in. Oh, no.